What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you spending some time with me on this lovely afternoon. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the spirit realm, the spirit world, and energetic vampires or spiritual parasites. Let's start off with the spirit realm. A lot of people believe that they live in a physical world, in a physical universe, right? They believe that they live in a universe made of physical matter. But this isn't the case. You live in a universe of pure energy or spirit. You are in the spiritual realm right now. Life is but a dream, you know? You're there right now. Now, while it may be helpful to describe the world that you live in using physical terms, while you're doing this, you will never understand everything that's happening, because there is nothing to understand about the physical world, because there is no physical world. This is the spirit world that has put on the disguise of physicality. And we could prove this even with modern scientific investigation. If we had a high-powered microscope and you zoomed in on my body, at a certain level, it would lose all of its physical characteristics that make it a body. If you could zoom in on my body right now, eventually you would see that this body is made up of trillions and trillions of smaller bodies called cells. And if you could zoom in on those cells, you would see that each cell is made up of different parts that all play a role. And if you could zoom in even further, you would break it down to just particles, and then atoms, and then subatomic particles, until it's only existing in this cloud of energy or spirit. And in fact, if you could zoom in on my body right now with one of these high-powered microscopes, you would see that at a certain level, you wouldn't even be able to distinguish the beginning or the end of my arm from the beginning or the end of this chair, or the ground, or the air, or the trees, or the sky. It would all dissolve into one substance called energy or spirit. And this is the basis of your reality. Spirit, energy. And if you could begin to understand the spiritual dynamics of this realm, of this plane of existence, you would then understand all physical things, you see? But while you only focus on physical things, you will never be able to understand the world that you live in. You must begin to explore the spiritual depths of this existence, you see? Now, let's talk about energetic vampires, spiritual parasites. A lot of people believe that these beings, right? First off, this is what you have to understand this. In this universe, human beings are not the only intelligent beings. Especially on this earth, human beings are not the only intelligent beings. They're with you now. They're with you now. You don't have to be afraid. You have a guardian angel. You know, people used to talk about guardian angels. You have an angel or a spirit guide or a higher self that is always working to protect you, right? You have armies of angels that are protecting you. And you don't have to summon them. You don't need to ask them for help. They are assigned to you. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have anything to be afraid of like this. Something is always protecting you, right? Now, but a lot of people believe that these spiritual vampires, these energetic parasites, are like lesser evolved spiritual beings. But this isn't true. These beings are actually highly advanced spiritual beings. Okay? Now, this is important to know because this is exactly how they're able to do what they do. This is why they do what they do. You know, they say that knowledge is power. But if you begin to misuse the knowledge, it's possible that you turn the power against yourself, which is in fact what these energetic vampires or spiritual parasites have done. They've become obsessed with knowledge, obsessed with power. And this is the one way, guaranteed, to turn the power against yourself, is to become obsessed with the power. See? Now, these beings, being advanced, they understand the spiritual laws of this world. So they know how to find the loopholes, to manipulate, right? They know how to get you to sign on the dotted line without you reading the contract, without you reading the fine print. There's an old tale about vampires, right? They say if a vampire shows up at your house in the middle of the night, he cannot enter your home unless he is invited in. But the vampire doesn't need a formal invitation. You don't need to say, "Oh, hello there, good sir. Please come into my house. Make yourself at home." They don't need an invitation like this, okay? Imagine it like this. You're home one day, you get a knock on the door. You open the door, and the person says to you, hey, my car broke down a couple blocks that way, and I would really like to use your telephone. Is it possible that I come inside and use your phone for a moment? And you're feeling a little uncomfortable with this situation. And you have choices here. You could just say, no, I'm sorry, I don't have the time, and shut the door. And that's the end of it. But a lot of us feel guilty about being rude or something like this, right? So, you know how they show you vampires, they like hypnotize people with their eyes, and then all of a sudden they can control you, or they know things about you that they shouldn't know, right? Well, in the real world, in a certain way, this can happen in a different way. This person that knocks on your door, right? Instead of you just saying, no, I'm sorry, and shutting the door, you say, you know what, man, it's been a really hectic day. I really don't have the time. See, I got the kids running around, and my kitchen sink sprung a leak in the pipe underneath it. It's spraying everywhere right now. I just don't have the time. Now, this vampire knows your weakness. He says, oh, well, just a minute. You know, I actually have plumber's glue and tape in my car. How about I go back there and I get it? I come back and I'll fix that pipe for you. I'll stop the leak, and then you let me use the phone. You say, you know what, dude, that's a great deal. Go get that, dude. Of course. If you fix that pipe, I'll gladly let you use the phone. But once they're in and that door shuts behind them, all bets are off. You see, they just need to gain access, but it must come from your free will. There are energetic parasites and vampires working through people that you might watch on YouTube. And all they need to do is identify a problem that you have and provide a solution, and you begin to trust this individual, right? And that's what they need. That's the invitation, that trust. You begin to come back every day, day after day after day, and you think that you're gaining something. But if you were gaining something, you wouldn't need to come back every single day. You would actually solve your problem. But this person has begun to suck you in and suck your energy from you. It's not true about everyone. I'm not saying that if you go and watch somebody's YouTube channel every day that they're a vampire. No, because it's possible to kind of enter a symbiotic relationship with more friendly beings that are not parasites, that are not vampires, beings that will exchange energy with you, that will give and take, that you will be able to give and take from. You see what I'm saying? So there's a healthy relationship that you can form with beings, but there are these beings, these spiritually advanced beings that only take from. You see? So you just have to be on guard. And I just kind of wanted to share this little bit of information with you. You know, that's all I've got for you today. But, you know, let me know your thoughts. If you've ever had an experience with an energetic parasite or vampire, let me know. Anyway, man, like I said, I appreciate you being here, spending some time with me. Oh, yeah, I got something to show you. Hold on. Check this out. Look at my friends, man. Look at my friends. They got babies out here. Those are the babies over there. Beautiful animals that hang out with me. Hey, man, anyway, until next time, I hope you continue to free your mind.